Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Christina, how can you relate to your character as Drea? Because you have a family, you're a mom, and you're jumping into this. Is this more challenging than it is at home?
Um, Not really, because I'm at home with two small children. So I don't really, to be honest, I don't really know what the challenge is to be a parent of a teenager. I would say probably it's different. It's a different kind of challenging. But it's it's the same. What I can relate to is that love that you have for your child. I think no matter how old they get, you just want the best for them. You love them. You see them in a light that no one else does. And Drea, I think, especially with Rafa, is just endlessly proud of everything he does. And I can certainly relate to that as a mom.
And so much love for Rafa's character.
Uh,
Ignacio, how do you juggle it all and getting great advice and not so great advice?
Yeah. Um, well, I think that's Rafa's like obstacle, right? Is that navigation. And I think you know, I think for most of us, like I'm sure we can remember like being a teenager in high school and being at that point in life where it seems like every adult in your life is trying to give you advice and steer you in one direction or the other. You know, everyone's asking you where you're going to go to school, if you're going to go to school, what you're going to study, who you want to be, and you know, for Rafa, it's no different. Maybe it's a little bit more unique, his like home circumstances. But I think everyone, yeah, I think you can all relate to you know, being at certain moments in your life where you have to make a decision and you're being inundated with advice.
Especially being in a Latin family, which we've grown up in. Everybody's very opinionated and feels very strongly about what you do. So
Yes, and for anyone's feelings hurt, it's like, I'm gonna go stick up for you. Everything and everything. Want to get
yeah,
involved. Family meeting scenes were one of my favorites. It felt so theater-like. What was it like to film those scenes? Because there's a lot going on at the same time. The dialogue. We can start with Christina.
it was so much fun. I mean, we fell immediately into this dynamic of like family, just like this immediate bond. And so I would say the only thing that was difficult was just getting through the scene without laughing and breaking and in between shots, you know, them trying to get us to stay quiet because we're just enjoying talking to each other and banter back and forth and all of that.
And for you, Ignacio?
Yeah, I think you cut out for a second, and I want to make sure that I know exactly what you're asking. Or you're talking about like the scenes where all of the uncles and Dre and Ralph are together and what that was like. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I think like Christina said, it was just about getting through the scene. I think we knew when scenes were scheduled, when it was like all of us together, we're like, okay, these take a little bit longer. We need there's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of, I mean, there's some really funny people on this show. There's some really funny actors on this show, and like any comedy, you know, I mean, you know, sometimes you break, sometimes it's hard not to, and yeah,
Yeah.
but it was, I mean, it was a lot of fun. It was there's a lot of the dynamic mirrors a little bit of like the fiction of the show where when everyone's
Mm-hmm.
together, when everyone's it's lively. There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of maybe chaotic energy, but it's good.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much fun.
Lots of different personalities and yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting.
And I apologize if my poor Wi-Fi here. I'm at
No,
CinemaCon,
no, no.
but I wanted to take the time to speak to you guys about Primo.
Oh, awesome. Enjoy
Thank you
CinemaCon.
so much. Thank you.
Yeah, that's
Of
so cool.
course. That's why you have beds in the background.
Awesome.
Now, Ignacio, can I ask you as Ignacio
Yeah.
and the five uncles, which one would be your one favorite uncle that you would want to hang out with
Oh,
from the cast?
like me in life?
Yes, not Rafa. So you're not in the spot.
Right, right.
No, yeah, no
Right.
pressure.
Which one of the uncles? Man, I think it would depend on the circumstances, you know? You gotta lean on one for something specific. You gotta, which I think is sort of what Rafa does, you know, when he's in a moment where he needs something, he knows, okay, I'm gonna ask this uncle for this kind of advice. So I think it would depend entirely on the circumstances, you know? I don't know. Yeah, I think it'd
Who's
be
your favorite? No.
who's my favorite?
Tricky question.
Yeah, depending on what it's for, it would completely change, you know? But I'd love to hang out with all the uncles. They would seem like a good time for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And what about you, Christina? Which would be the favorite brother?
I swear, I'm not trying to dodge the question. That is really tough because,
Yeah.
like Ignacio said, I really marrying the character. I have like something special with each of them. Like if I want to go into like deep conversation, I'm gonna talk to Efrain, which is Mondo's character. But I would say the two that remind me most of my actual brother, who I'm very close to. So it's a tie between Rolly and Mike, which is Johnny Diaz and Henri Esteve. So probably those two. But me and Carlos have a good time together. I can't. You can't ask me this one. I can't. All of them together make up my perfect brother.
I'm just gonna say you've named everyone but Jonathan, so you can't exclude him. You gotta include Jonathan.
No, oh my gosh. No, Jonathan is actually in real life, he's like my soul brother. He's like my big brother. He's like he's the one who gives me advice. He's the one who encourages me when I'm feeling down. Like that's in real life, he actually does that. So yeah, can't leave him out.
Yeah. And he has the business advice.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
He's the workhorse for sure.
I had a ball with the episode where there's a how they talk about Rafa having a celebration for everything. I could totally relate. I was the only child. Can you relate to that experience growing up?
Me?
Both.
Yeah. Not me, because I'm the last of 4 kids.
Yeah. So. I'm not an only child. I have a younger brother. So I don't know that my parents were as intense as Drea about celebrating every single moment. But yeah.
Maybe it's for only child.
I think it's I think when you're an only child, you have all the attention, so anything's is a big event.
And it can
as a baby, I got a lot of attention. Being the baby of the family. But not a whole lot of celebrations. Like there just wasn't time for celebrating all the things, but
yeah, especially like an actual party. Like you can celebrate something, but you're gonna like host a whole party and invite everyone.
No.
You know?
Not my mom.
Christina, so is there an actual Mexican dish that you're good at cooking at home?
I make some pretty good tacos.
Okay.
My Mexican friends might disagree, but everyone else who eats them thinks they're great.
I love that episode.
Me too. It's so good. I actually watched it again the other night for like the 3rd time, and I was like, it still cracks me up.
Would you do that for a family member? Would you go through those circles just to not hurt their feelings about cooking?
Oh my gosh. I'm Latin. Yes, there's so many things we don't we're not totally honest about. I don't know if I would go to the extent that they went. But given the way it started out and how they did it as kids, I kind of get how like sometimes there's that lie that's just been going on for so long that you're like, we're just let's see how it plays out. Maybe we'll go to the grave with this.
Well, thank you so much, guys, for your time and talking about Primo. It was a joy for me. I'm sure it will be a joy for many other people and going to be able to relate in different ways.
Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you, Nancy. Thanks
And
for taking the time to talk with us.
yeah, for
Thank
sure. Joy
you.
CinemaCon. I'm jealous.
Next year, there's always next year. Bye-bye.